What's up, guys? How you all doing? Cosmic Carry here. Today going to be doing a quick look, a very quick look at the Waffenträger E100, the tier 10 German TD. This is going to be the third German TD in the German tech tree, alongside the Grille 15, of course, and the Jagdpanzer E100. Most probably the most controversial tank in the game, and it was so on the PC as well, hence its removal, and it's even more controversial here on the console because it's not being removed, it's not being nerfed, it's not, you know, nothing's being done to it. The justification for this from Wargaming is the fact that they consider it not to be overpowered, and why should they take away somebody's favorite tank? And that is a very strong argument. Why should they? You know, isn't that kind of like commercial suicide? Well, I mean, it wouldn't stop the game dead in its tracks, so to speak. But you know, I'm not going to debate about the ifs and ands and buts and what's wrong, what's right, and you know, because I mean, truth be told, that there is something to that, I guess. You know, because if you play the game, you do come across a lot of potatoes in the game. I must read a lot of these potatoes, their favorite tank is the almighty Waffenträger E100. I do remember when, back in the day, for those of you that weren't around when it was initially released, the Waffenträger E100, there was a sense that the tank had ruined the game. You know, it wasn't winning battles, but there was a sense that the tank had simply ruined the game, you know, for the first couple of weeks initially when it was released, because when it was initially released there were platoons of these things running around, and everybody was kind of, you know, banging their head against the table, trying to figure out, okay, well, what is an effective way of taking these guys out, because I can't think of anything, you know. And eventually the platoons kind of petered out, and you were left with just solo Waffenträgers, which were 100% much easier to deal with than platoons of the things. And you know, the platoons weren't effective, they weren't necessarily winning the games, they were just successful in ruining the games, you know, ruining the battles. They weren't necessarily using any kind of tactics, you know, strategies, etc., just blast the enemy till kingdom come, and that was it. So when eventually the platoons kind of disappeared, you're left with mostly solo Waffenträgers, and a solo Waffle is much easier to deal with, you know. And I've mentioned this, like I commented on this in a post in the forums. The tank is sort of kind of balanced out by the fact that when it does get lit up, everybody points their gun towards the Waffle and, you know, has a go, because it hasn't got any armor, and everybody thinks, oh, free damage, free XP, shoot it. And not only that, they want to shoot it because it's the Waffle, you know, because nobody likes the Waffle, etc., etc. The game that's coming up is literally my first game in this thing, you know, in quite a while. I haven't played this tank, and it was my first, you know, ×2 of the day in the Waffle, and it's reminiscent of the game I had I don't know, about a year ago. I'll leave a link for it in at the end of the video, and I named the video "Maybe You Shoot Better, Maybe You Tank Better If I Shove That Autoloader Up Your Butt," which is kind of very funny. Because in that battle it was just kind of like the same thing, you know. I rolled out in the tank, hadn't played it for ages, instantly got a huge amount of damage without even trying, and yeah, so the tank is 100% dangerous if the player knows what he's doing. If the player doesn't know what he's doing, then it's not dangerous, you know. Time and time again I see the Waffle up front getting blasted to kingdom come, and me saying, you know, what are you doing out there, buddy? What are you doing out there? Yes, you're gonna get 2-3 shots, but you're gonna die within the first 2 minutes. They kind of have it's almost like for the majority of the waffles, they have the lifespan of a suicide scout. You know, they just go out there and it's just like, what are you doing? Why are you out there? You know, you're gonna die. You're gonna die. But the gameplay coming up is me almost playing the tank perfectly. You know, almost lining up that reload perfectly. That, you know, 50-second reload. Perfectly to where there's a lull in the game. My gun is reloaded perfectly, and I've got targets to shoot as soon as I'm reloaded. And you know, the main thing with the Waffle and with most autoloaders is the fact that you track them. You know, you track them and you keep them in place, and you just blast the crap out of them because you've tracked them. You track them, they use their repair kit, you track them again, and that's it. You've got them, and they can get one shot into you, possibly, maybe if they're lucky too, but they're dead. You know, they're 100% dead. And it does, I don't know, does it frustrate me that the tank is still in the game? I don't know. I don't see why they don't take out at least one shell, you know, from the clip. I don't see a problem in that. I mean, I wouldn't mind if it went. I don't mind if it stays, you know, because there's no longer platoons of the things running around. But if you, at the same time, you take a look at my stats, and this is another kind of interesting point. If you take a look at my stats, this is one of my like top 10 most played tanks. But yeah, I don't have any memorable games in the thing. I don't remember ever. I don't recall any memorable games in my Waffle, and the reason why I have so many games, because I was trying to figure out, you know, interesting ways of playing the tank, and there really aren't any. You know, it's just learn how to track people and kill them, and that's about it. And hang back, run away, blah blah blah, and that's about it. You know, there's. When I was doing the Borsig, you know, the 150mm, I figured out a way of using that tank effectively. You put camo on it. You know, each tank you kind of have to figure out how to play it effectively, how to put the positives at the forefront. With the Waffenträger, it's kind of like, it's just really is just a dopey tank, you know. And if you compare the amount of vids I've made, when you look at my top 10 most played tanks, you know, like my E100, I have a gazillion vids in my E100. My Death Star, I have a gazillion vids in my Death Star. But even though I've got hundreds of games played in the Waffenträger, I haven't got that many vids in the Waffenträger because the games aren't that memorable, and you genuinely feel like, you know, skill versus sheer power, you know, sheer brutality, just bullies. And not only you're a bully, you're a stupid dopey one, you know, to boot, sort of, kind of, you know. And yeah, so but you know, this series has all been about the grill. You know, it's all been about the grill. I cannot wait for the grill. I love my super accurate German guns, so me personally, I can't wait to try out that, you know, super accurate gun, 100%. But anyhow, you know, each to his own. Until it's gone, the Waffle is here to stay. What can I say? And yeah, it is what it is. So coming up is gameplay. There's no commentary. It's just me playing a Waffle game almost perfectly, sort of, kinda, you know. And one thing I need to mention with the Waffenträger, with my Waffenträger, is that it shares a crew with the E25. You know, most of the times, you know, your home crew is in a regular standard tech tree tank, and that is the case, you know, with my Waffle. It has a crew, but the crew has 90% of the skills and perks were trained in the E25. The crew is primarily used on my E25, and my E25 skills and perks I've got, you know, camo on there. I've got, you know, the hidden bush, hidden sniper, all those skills and perks. So that kind of, you know, hyped up the camo values to the max in the upcoming game of the Waffenträger, which normally doesn't have, and you know, that great camo. And considering it's also, you know, Blizzard as well, so yeah. So anyhow, Grille 15, who cares about the waffle? Take it easy, guys. Hope you enjoyed the vid. Adios, muchachos.